Hello parents and teachers. The purpose of this video is to show you exactly how to use my new tournaments feature. It is incredibly engaging for students and will transform your classroom into something that more resembles a main event. First thing you do is you scroll down to where it says tournaments. Click on it and you scroll down to tournament introduction and games. You click there. Scroll down again and you're going to click on the link that says Teachers Parents. Click here to create and manage your tournaments. And once you make a tournament and deploy it to your students, the students will access the tournament with this link below that says Students. Click here to enter your tournament code and play. So anyway, I'm going to click Teachers Parents. Click here to create and manage your tournaments. And I'm going to go to a page that says the Tournaments Maker. It says Create Tournament. So I click Create Tournament, and it says, Teachers, did you know you can use this game as a digital tournament for your class? And so to use this, you do have to make sure that another website is whitelisted in your district or your system, and it's called mrnussbaumpremium.com. mrnussbaumpremium.com. So I've already registered, but if you haven't registered yet, you're going to register. There's virtually no information other than your name, your first name, last name, email address, and a password. That's the only information that you have to enter. I'm going to click log in, and I'm going to go to my family. This is a profile I've already created, and I'm going to click log in. And the first thing you see is it says logged in as family. When you want to log in out, you'll click this link where it says click here to log out. And then first thing you're going to want to do is register your students. It says you'll only be able to it should say use their initials. So there's a 3-character limit. So you'll have to be familiar with your kid's first, middle, and last name. So here I have registered 6 kids, but it's very, very easy to register more. You just type in their initials, click Add Student, and that student will appear. Next to the student is the passcode that they'll need to access the tournament and all tournaments that you make in which the student of interest participates. So I have 7 students right now. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I got to make sure that they know their passcodes. And these passcodes, if the student forgets their passcode, they're always here in your page, so you can remind them. But it's a good idea for students to write this down and keep it somewhere easily accessible, especially if you plan to use the tournaments a lot. The next thing I'm going to do, actually, before I do anything else, I'm going to take a look here. So I can make tournaments in like 20 different of my most popular games. But I can also do like any kind of drill activities I want. I can add, subtract, multiply, divide, use coins, telling time, fractions, all kinds of different math skills, word problems even. And we're working on other skills, not just math skills, but right now it's limited to all of these different math skills. So let's say most of you probably have some familiarity with my games. Let's say I want to do a tournament using a really popular game on my site called Tony Fractions Pizza Shop. So I'm going to click Tony Fraction. The other thing I can do, interestingly enough, is I can make my own content that goes in the tournament. For example, if I'm maybe doing state capitals or identifying verbs, adjectives, and nouns, I can create a custom drill, and this allows me to enter my own questions into the tournament and my own answers. I can also see those entered by other teachers and use those. But right now, I'm going to do Tony Fraction, and important because sometimes kids tie. So before I even deploy the tournament, I'm going to want to indicate whether or not, what happens in a tie. Do I want both kids to replay, or do I want them to be just a random winner chosen by the tournament itself? The kids much prefer that they get a chance to replay rather than there's a random winner. So I'm going to leave that checked. Now, before I actually deploy the tournament, I need to, do I want all of the kids in the tournament? And whether you have 2 kids, 4 kids, 7 kids, or 50 kids, it doesn't matter. They can all participate in a tournament. So I'm going to do, let's say, make it interesting. Let's do 6 kids. And I'm going to copy and paste one of these. I'm going to copy one of the passwords. And then after I've selected the kids, I'm going to click this Create Tournament button. You can also print out the student codes. Remember I talked to you about before, I said make sure the kids have these codes and keep them somewhere where you can print them out and you can cut them out and give them to the students also. So I'm going to create the tournament. And you can see it's going to include these 6 kids. So I click Create Tournament. And my tournament bracket is automatically created. Now, interestingly enough, I can move these around. Let's say I have certain matchups I want to see, so I can move them around however I want. And then also, let's say sometimes we find the tournaments that a lot of the kids play, but some don't play. So I can enter any score I want. So if I want to take Dad, maybe save the tournament first. Sorry, I need to save the tournament first. Let's call this Tony Fraction Tournament. And then I'm going to save it. And okay, so I can see the bracket anytime by clicking on this link here. And now I can enter scores. For example, it says enter a new score. So let's say Mom doesn't play. So I just put in a score for her, 45. Okay, and that's how teachers create the tournament. So let's see how a student will access the tournament. So let's say I am GMN. I'm just going to use the password for GMN. Copy that. And now I am going to go back here. I'm going to go hit my back button. And remember I said students are going to click on the student link. Now this is simple. All they do is enter their code. And then the student can see all the tournaments you've made for them. And so this student is going to play the Tony Fraction tournament. And let's say I click, all they have to do is click play. And then they play the game. And their score is automatically entered into that tournament. So I'm not gonna play this whole game because it'll just take too long. So if I go back here, let's say I'm going back to my teacher account. Let's say that I got 64, and let's say WON logged into his account and he got 55. And so this would happen automatically. But now when GMN returns, GMN will have another chance to play Tony Fraction, and he'll play the winner of Dad versus CAN. So let's say Dad gets 73 and CAN gets 71, and it will be GMN plays Dad, and the winner goes to the finals. And so right here, if Yes gets 36, since there's 6 people in the tournament, Mom gets an automatic bye to the final round, and we'll play the winner of GMN versus Dad. And if I go back to the students will automatically be able to see all of this also. So once again, let's go back to GMN. Let's go back to a student login. Let's see. Put my tournament code in. See my tournaments. And you can see the student sees the exact same thing that the teacher sees. And this is much more exciting when, and see, because I'm GMN, I have another chance to play. But if I was WON, I wouldn't have the option to play. I'm out of the tournament. This is much more exciting in a classroom setting. And watching the kids get excited about who they're matched up against, and then watching them in these friendly competitions, compete against all, in all of these academic formats, the math skills, the games. It's really, really amazing. And once the kids do one of these, they will beg you to set up tournaments for them. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this clears things up and you have unlimited free use of my tournament features, my tournaments feature. Make sure that you can access MrNussbaumPremium.com. That is just the site in which the different scores are stored. But again, your kids are going to love this.